So we want to go ahead and create another variable here called scroll underscore height, and that's going to equal text area underscore height, and we want to minus the inner height of this terms text area. So we go ahead and select, no, it will just be this, and then dot inner height, like that. So let's just go ahead and pop the scroll height into here, underscore height, and let's go ahead and refresh and scroll down, and you can see this is 560. So the original value that we had minus 560 is going to equal the actual height. So, oh sorry, no, I'm completely wrong. I could have gone and said inner height and echoed out inner height, or put the text inside of here. So we can go ahead and do that now, and that will show you the inner height, which is 164. And now what we've done is we've subtracted 164 from this original text area height, and then we have the scroll height, which will match the inside height of the document, or inside height of the text area, sorry. So now that we have this accurate value, we can go ahead and perform an if statement, but we first of all need to return the value. Let's just get rid of that back. We need to return the value of where the scroll is at. So we can do this and we can match it to the scroll height that we retrieved earlier. So the scroll height that we retrieved earlier is 560. So if we were to return the scroll height, which is as we scroll down the point at which we're at, this should match 560 when we get to the end. It's important that when we get to the end we can match it, because that's when we want to show the checkbox. So scroll top is going to equal this dot scroll top, and this is a jQuery function, and that's going to return the current position of the scroll bar. So we can go ahead and say scroll top, and we're going to put that into our feedback div. So now when we scroll down, you can see this value incrementing, and when we get to the end it equals 560. So we did some calculations earlier and got the actual height of the inside as we scrolled, so the whole scroll area, and now we've returned the same value. So we can match this at the end. Yeah, we can match this at the end. So let's go ahead and just get rid of this. We no longer now need this div. Let's just go and get rid of that as well. And now what we want to do is perform an if statement to check whether the scroll top is equal to the scroll height, the accurate height value that we returned for the inside. So we just simply say if scroll underscore top is equal to scroll underscore height, we want to disable this disabled attribute, so we want to remove the attribute completely. So all we do is we say hash agree, which remember is our checkbox area or our checkbox element, and we just want to remove an attribute from that, and that attribute is disabled. So now we've relayed each value into that div and displayed that they match as we get to the bottom. So now as the scroll top equals the scroll height, we know that we've scrolled down essentially to the bottom of this text area. So now when we refresh and we scroll down, you can see this is still disabled, but when we reach the bottom, the condition of this if statement will be true, and therefore this checkbox will be enabled. So this is quite a simple piece of code. Let's go ahead and make the height a bit bigger just to see how this doesn't affect the functionality. So I've made the height slightly bigger, but however when we scroll down we still match it and it still is available to check. So the code that we've written dynamically updates using pretty much these two variables, do all the calculation. So whatever height we have the scroll area at, or the text area at, it will always return this condition as true, because we're returning the most accurate values. So this will work obviously whatever height or whatever width you have the text area at. So quite a useful tool if you wanted to include something like this in terms and conditions. Obviously you can enable and disable buttons instead of checkbox areas. If you wanted this literally just to be a button, you could go ahead and just replace this here with a button, and then you would have a value for your button. So for example, continue. We'll just get rid of that for now, and it would work in exactly the same way. You can see that the continue button is disabled, yet when we go all the way down to the bottom, this button is enabled. So quite versatile with different elements as well. Obviously the disabled attribute applies to almost all HTML elements. So quite an easy way to do this. The calculations are slightly complicated, but the overall concept is obviously quite easy, and you could go ahead and apply this to a text area, and obviously use this in an actual real life situation, which is nice because it's nice to see something that can actually be used. So that's how we use scroll top and the scroll height and the inner height to calculate this and display a hidden or disabled element.